Print, email, Facebook, Twitter. More. Sophie Mirabella awarded $175,000 in damages over defamatory Benalla newspaper story. Former Liberal frontbencher Sophie Mirabella has been awarded $175,000 in damages over a defamatory newspaper article which incorrectly claimed she pushed her political rival Cathy McGowan out of a photo opportunity. Mrs. Mirabella was seeking up to $400,000 to recognize the emotional toll of the Benalla ensign story, which falsely stated she had pushed Ms. McGowan at a media event at a Benalla nursing home during the 2016 federal election campaign. The maximum payout for non-economic loss caused by defamation in Victoria is $389,500, but the newspaper had argued for a lesser amount, and today County Court Judge Michael McNamara ruled it would have to pay $175,000. He has not yet ruled if the paper will have to pay any legal costs. Mrs. Mirabella said she hoped the case would lead to better adherence to certain standards of journalism. "I have to tell you, it was a really big relief and vindication for my family and 2 young girls as well," she said. Today precedes a lot of support from people coming from a lot of different quarters who were appalled at how the allegation turned out. In handing down his judgment, Judge McNamara found the defamatory article had caused significant hurt to Mrs. Mirabella's reputation and caused her great distress. A Liberal Party staffer said she perceived Mrs. Mirabella to be in even greater distress following the publication of this article than she was following her loss of the seat of India at the 2013 general election, he said. After a 6-day trial held in Wangaratta, a jury took less than an hour to find the Benalla ensign had defamed Mrs. Mirabella, who had been recontesting the Northeast Victorian seat of India at the time. She lost the seat to Ms. McGowan in 2013. Paper reinforced unpleasant person narrative. Judge McNamara said the article had reinforced a narrative advanced by her political opponent, that Mrs. Mirabella was unpleasant, not nice person, aggressive. He said the pushing incident seemed to become a permanent part of her image. The newspaper published an apology 6 months after the original article was published. Judge McNamara said the apology had come too late, after Mrs. Mirabella's election loss. It is not said that Mrs. Mirabella's election loss could be attributed to the defamation, he said. Rather, it draws attention to the fact that, whilst Mrs. Mirabella's doings and the things said about her were big news within the electorate of India before the general election of 2016, once it had concluded and Mrs. McGowan was victorious, statements about Mrs. Mirabella ceased to be of the same importance and public interest. Her public image as the pusher had already solidified and had become part of the general folklore. During the civil trial, the newspaper admitted Mrs. Mirabella had not pushed Ms. McGowan and it had got the story wrong, but denied it was defamatory. Instead, it claimed Mrs. Mirabella had pushed now Federal Minister for Aged Care, Ken Wyatt, to prevent him from taking a photo with Ms. McGowan, and therefore the meaning of the article remained the same. Judge McNamara said the newspaper had acted with a degree of recklessness for failing to seek a response from Mrs. Mirabella before publication. He said that recklessness was compounded by the newspaper's then editor, Libby Price, who decided in the immediate aftermath to stand by the article when she was asked for comment by ABC News. Price did not give evidence at the trial. Mirabella totally and utterly powerless as story spread. Mrs. Mirabella broke down in tears several times as she gave evidence, telling the jury she knew the story would totally blacken her name. "I'm not a sensitive, delicate wallflower, and I've put up with a lot of stuff, but this was the last straw. To be called someone who pushes, assaults other women, it was disgusting," Mrs. Mirabella said. She said she felt totally and utterly powerless as the story was picked up by major news outlets. Mr. Wyatt was also a key witness in the trial. He told the court Mrs. Mirabella had held her hands on his chest as she tried to prevent him from being in a photo with Ms. McGowan at the 2016 media event. He said she had not wanted him to take the picture, as it could give Ms. McGowan legitimacy as a Liberal-like candidate. "Mrs. Mirabella moved around in front of me, put her hands on my chest and asked that I don't allow the photo, because it would legitimize an alliance to the Liberal Party," Mr. Wyatt told the court. The court heard Mrs. Mirabella had later secretly recorded a conversation with Mr. Wyatt on the sidelines of the Liberal Party's Federal Council meeting in Sydney in June 2017, 2 months after she launched her defamation suit. Mrs. Mirabella said she just wanted evidence that she hadn't pushed Mr. Wyatt. Mrs. Mirabella now works as General Manager of Government and Media Relations at mining magnate Gina Rinehart's company, Hancock Prospecting. Print, email, Facebook, Twitter. More.